Hello and welcome to another morning update live on NTN. My name is Jessie Leonce. Today is Tuesday, the 27th of April, 2021. We are coming to you live from the Finance Administrative Center in Point Seraphin. This time, because we are just awaiting the commencement of a ceremony, a special ceremony here, it makes sense to just pass on over after our morning update to the Ministry of Commerce. We'll be soon seeing a check handing over a ceremony happening shortly. But in the meantime, I just want to bring you some of the latest developments coming from the government of St. Lucia. If you're watching on air online, good morning to you, residents here in St. Lucia, St. Lucians in the diaspora. Thank you so much for tuning in. We have updates on the COVID-19 vaccination today. From 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., you can go get vaccinated at the Darren Sammy Cricket Grounds, the Grand Riviere Dennery Human Resource Center, the Philip Marsler Grounds, the Jack Mill Wellness Center, or the T. Rocher Miku Wellness Center. Please be reminded that if you want or intend to get vaccinated today or for the rest of the week, you need to at least please try to pre-register. Get pre-registered online, hmi.govt, or you can go to the nearest health center in your community. Let them know you're interested in getting vaccinated so that they can facilitate the pre-registration process for you. Also, when you are going to get vaccinated, carry with you a form of identification. That could be your driver's license, your national ID card. Ensure that you have a form of ID so that they can determine who you are and put you in the system as needs be. Also, if you are going for your second dose, because persons who would have gotten their first dose of the COVID vaccine in early March would now be due for their second dose, as we saw the Honorable Prime Minister Alan Chasney getting his second dose. If you are like him, you can go get vaccinated, carrying, however, your card, the card that they gave you. Ensure that you go with that so that they can tick you off for your second dose. So today I mentioned the venues where you can get vaccinated today. Tomorrow, if your schedule is clear, you have time to go get vaccinated, you could do so at the Bexar Wellness Center, the Dennery Mothers Preschool, the Suffolk Hospital Grounds, the VG Sports Complex, and the Monrepo Wellness Center. Please keep aware of the days and times that the vaccinations are happening. The Ministry of Health and Wellness is well into its second phase of the national vaccination campaign, administering the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine to anyone who will take it. Of course, right now they are not only dealing with persons who are taking their first dose, but also the second dose of the vaccine. In terms of the infections to date, we have COVID-19 cases, 10 new cases to report coming from the Ministry of Health and Wellness, and that was out of 89. That was out of 89 samples taken from the 23rd to the 24th of this month. These samples were processed on the 25th. All of these individuals were seen at the various community wellness centers by the healthcare practitioners, and they were, of course, advised to remain in isolation. And for the 10 individuals who've been confirmed with COVID-19, they will be taken into care and the contact tracing process will ensue. We also have word of the recovery of 16 individuals from COVID-19, bringing the total number of active cases back to double digits, that is 97. And presently, all of the active cases are doing well, thankfully. The new cases bring the total number of cases that have been diagnosed to date since March of last year to 4,502. We encourage you to please continue to adhere to the infection prevention guidelines, ensuring that you wear your mask, use hand sanitizer, wash your hands frequently when you have soap and water nearby, and observe the 6-foot distance. Not because we have the vaccines well underway happening on island that we need to forget about the protocols. They remain in effect until next month, so please take a note of that. Continuing with the updates this morning, we have word from the Department of Finance of the launch of the website for the Economic Recovery and Resilience Plan. You would recall that for the last year, St. Lucia has been very hard pressed on managing COVID-19, and not only that, not only the immediate responsibility of the healthcare sector and so on, but also ensuring that the economy, the socio-economic status of the country is not jeopardized as a result of the pandemic. And here comes in not only the social stabilization plan, but the economic recovery and resilience plan. And the Department of Finance has launched a website so that not only they, but also the entire country, St. Lucians in the diaspora, can monitor, can track the interventions that have been listed under the Economic Recovery and Resilience Plan. So as I indicated, a website dedicated for the ERRP, the online platform, was created as an avenue for monitoring these 32 interventions. And these 32 interventions span 6 pillars. Right. We have Permanent Secretary in the Department of Finance, Ms. Esther Rigobert, speaking during the virtual launch of this platform. Take a look.
The ERRP website will provide the perfect platform to evaluate, monitor, and provide feedback on the various initiatives being implemented by the government of St. Lucia. The public will be able to track the progress and give suggestions for improvements as the various measures are being rolled out.
And Rigobert adds that this resource will also, so as I mentioned, enabling all and sundry to be able to track, but it will also foster greater accountability and transparency for the work that is being done by the various government agencies. And during the virtual launch, we got to see many of the ministries, representatives from the various ministries who have a hand in the work that is happening under the Economic Recovery and Resilience Plan. The pillars of the Economic Recovery and Resilience Plan are stimulating the economy, fast-tracking shovel-ready projects, strengthening social protection systems, accelerating legislative reform for the productive sector, that's both the private and the public sector, strengthening healthcare systems on island, also building resilience against disaster risk and climate change. And all of these we have so far seen quite a bit of work happening in the various aspects. The quick response of the government of St. Lucia was to fast-track the shovel-ready projects, the construction sector, as part of stimulating the economy so that we can continue to move on. We can continue stabilization sort of amid the pandemic. Speaking on the website, we have the website developer Marvin Hutchinson stating that the details on any of these pillars and also the interventions under them can easily be accessed from the main page. So he's indicating that it is essentially user-friendly for anyone who may go on there and want to get more information about these interventions being put on by the current administration.
This landing page basically gives you all the information regarding the ERRP program, as well as quick links to the respective pillars and the other programs involved in the recovery, the response of the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, to access the respective pillars, you could either go through any of the quick links here, or you could go to the ERP tabs. Here, you are introduced to the 6 pillars, the 3 recovery and the 3 resilience pillars. Now, any pillar here can be accessible, so you just click on any of the cards and it presents you all the initiatives under that pillar. Now, the layout of the initiative level is the same throughout all 6 pillars, and when you found the initiative you're interested in, you could select it and it brings you to another page that gives you more granular detail regarding the initiative. So here you have everything regarding initiative number 22, as well as a detailed status update on that initiative, and we have tables as well as interactive data visualization that gives you an overview of the progress and performance of that initiative.
That was Marvin Hutchinson, website developer for the ERRP website. And if you want to go on there, you can type into your browser errp.info. That is errp.info to browse and to peruse that website. We continue with updates from our sister Isle, St. Vincent. Just to give you an update, the alert level on the volcano is still at red. The volcano continues to erupt. Its pattern of seismic activity over the last few days is typical of the growth and destruction of lava domes. Explosions with accompanying ashfall of similar or larger magnitude can restart with a similar or no warning. Also, white steam can be seen venting near continuously from several locations on the crater floor. No dome is visible, however, although a spine could be seen through the clouds. An observation flight was taken yesterday by the UE Seismic Research Center in a fixed-wing aircraft at about 11:30 a.m. Visibility was poor, with clouds blocking the crater for much of the time. Only a few long-period hybrid and volcano tectonic earthquakes were recorded, and there was no further tremor. So please take note of that update from the La Soufrière volcano in St. Vincent. And speaking of such, we are continuing to see St. Lucia's hand in assisting with relief to the individuals who've been displaced due to the volcano in St. Vincent. Just recently, we saw a donation by Cuba that was facilitated by St. Lucia in terms of transporting to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We have a clip, we have a few scenes of that donation coming on island in St. Lucia before it was bound for St. Vincent. Take a look.
NEMO St. Lucia on April 19th and 20th, 2021 received from the government and people of Cuba on behalf of the government and people of St. Vincent a donation of approximately 40 tons of food supplies, water and plastic tanks.
As usual, we're just playing our part in the relief effort to help St. Vincent. St. Vincent is our neighbor, so we have to look out for them. So much thanks to the Cubans for the relief, and we've been assisting them in offloading the aircraft, loading the containers to take up to Nemo, to take to the vessel down to St. Vincent. So in all, we want to say thanks to Cuba, thanks to everybody, all the St. Lucians that have been, supplying relief for St. Vincent. I personally want to say a big thank you, and just hope that they recover in good time.
The cargo was transported to Port Castries and loaded onto the Venezuelan naval ship by the St. Lucia Cadet Corps. On behalf of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we are extending gratitude to the Cubans for their generous donations.
And those were some scenes of the donation coming from Cuba that is bound for St. Vincent. St. Lucia was part of the facilitation process in getting those much needed supplies to the displaced individuals on that island. We are coming down to our updates in this program. We want to remind you that we're coming to you live from the Finance Administration Center, just setting up to accommodate also a special ceremony of a check presentation happening by the Ministry of Commerce. So that'll be happening shortly. In the meantime, we have a couple more updates for you before we wrap up. St. Lucia's Goodwill Ambassador program continues to portend and to yield benefits on several levels. And this time, as school resumed last week, students of the Blanchard Combined School were greeted by an eye-catching mural of the solar system, thanks to a project that is being spearheaded by the charity organization of Goodwill Ambassador, Her Excellency Claudia Edward Lardner. Now, we spoke to Her Excellency Edward Lardner on Friday. We also spoke to the designer. These are some of what they had to say in terms of the project. Take a look.
Outdoor learning is increasingly becoming a preferred solution for many schools that have reopened their compounds during the pandemic. Charity organization Edward for Education responded favorably to a request of the Blanchard Combined School principal, who wanted to achieve just that. Her vision included appealing murals and other paintings on outside spaces of the school that would cater to the educational needs of the students while adhering to COVID-19 protocols. Edward for Education's decade-long streak of auspicious interventions at schools island-wide would continue now during the pandemic. National Goodwill Ambassador and founder of the charity is Her Excellency Claudia Edward Lardner.
Well, we had a lot of proposals for school projects, and we were thinking with COVID-19 and the social distancing, some of these projects did not make sense for us to approach them at this time. When we got the call from the Blanchard Combined School, the principal, she said to us, we have a proposal that will enable our kids to learn on the outside of the classroom, which works perfectly with the social distancing and all of that. Getting this project together was by far one of the easiest projects I've put together, and in a timely fashion as well.
Most prominent among the artwork created at the Blanchard Combined School is the solar system mural for science lessons. Naja Simeon of Saki Productions, most noted for the St. Lucia mural at Point Seraphin, painted this solar system mural free of charge.
I selected this huge wall. You walk up the stairs, you get this wall, so it's like you're walking into
the universe.
Yes. And Earth is right there in the middle, and when you see the image, you see the sun is in the center and it's actually painted on top of a light fixture. So when the light comes on, the sun glows.
Everything lights up.
So it's just a beautiful concept, but I wanted the children to walk into the solar system, and now they can look at, you know, not just the Earth, but the entire universe and beyond.
After weeks of planning with Edward for Education, sponsors Saki Productions and Harris Paints, Principal Mural Emmanuel was most satisfied with the final product, completed in time to welcome her students back to school for the third term.
Everyone loves it. We are very excited. The students were very excited when they came in on Monday morning and saw this mural on the wall for the first time. They were very, very excited. Parents are very pleased to see those kinds of things happening at the school. So on behalf of the Lucia Combined family, I want to thank Edward for Education, Saki Production, and Harris Paints for helping us see this project to fruition.
Other projects of the Edward for Education charity over the years include construction of a sick bay for the Corinth Secondary School, theatre arts room for the Cicero Secondary School, and learning center for the Ave Maria Girls Primary School. For the Government Information Service, I am Jessie Leonce reporting.
Thank you very much, Edward for Education, and Her Excellency Claudia Edward Loudner for your work, your charitable efforts for the education sector here on island. And finally, we did conduct an interview with one of our latest authors here on island in the person of Christine Samuels, but I just wanted to leave you in terms of our updates this morning with this final report. A book highlighting the history of dance in St. Lucia has been launched. Performer, choreographer, fashion designer, and now author has added to her list of achievements by capturing the endeavors of the local dance fraternity, that is Christine Samuels. We have details in this report from the interview we conducted with her last week. Take a look.
Decades of documentation have enabled performer and choreographer Christine Samuels to compile a book titled Dance Footprints, 40 Years of Dance in St. Lucia this month. The coffee table book, oversized and hard-covered, is intended to not only inform and entertain, but to also inspire some conversation about the movers and shakers of the art form.
The book is made up of bios and photographs in color, black and white. So it will give you the whole story from where the dancer started and the group started, and it will give you the photographs to show who these people are and what they have done in the development of dance in St. Lucia. There have been a lot of people who have helped in the development of dance in St. Lucia. The generation today do not know these people, and I felt it was necessary for all the generation of people now and the dancers that are going to be bringing dance forward to the next generation needed to know who these people were.
Samuels' own career as a dancer spans over 40 years, and she established and managed her own dance institution, the Crystallites Dance Academy, as a premier institution for arts education in St. Lucia. During this period, she says she hoarded dance paraphernalia, which later allowed her to spearhead an exhibition commissioned by the Cultural Development Foundation. The book, she says, evolved from this event.
What really brought it out was when Auntie Virgie died. Virginia Alexander passed away, and CDF did the Icon series on dance in St. Lucia, and they asked me to put an exhibition together for her and just to document dance, and for me that was the right opportunity. So what I did the exhibition at the Blue Coral Mall in bios and photographs. So basically, when the exhibition was done, I transformed the exhibition into the book.
The cover features a poignant image of the author in dancer's pose with cultural and dance icon Virginia Albert shortly before her passing in 2008.
The few months of when Virgie was very ill, we had decided to go to a studio to do that photograph. And we put a collection of photographs together. And I mean, last night I was writing my speech and I'm saying, wow, this is really a magnificent photo because it encapsulates everything that Virgie has put together for Dance in St. Lucia. And I felt it was very fitting since the book is in memory of her, and she's the mother of Dance in St. Lucia. So hence the reason that this book, the cover of the book puts Virgie and I, on Dance Footprints.
The virtual launch for Dance Footprints, 40 Years of Dance in St. Lucia, was held on Saturday, 10th April 2021. For the Government Information Service, I am Jessie Leonce reporting.
That brings us to the end of our updates for this morning. I'd like to thank you so much for watching. We encourage you to stay tuned to NTN because coming up, we're going back to studio now, but in a short while we'll be having a check presentation by the Ministry of Commerce, so we invite you to stay tuned for that. My name is Jessie Leon, signing off for now. Continue to adhere to the protocols. Keep in mind we're now down to double digits in terms of the active cases, 10 new cases and 16 recoveries. We do hope that you continue to keep safe, keep on the right side of the law as it pertains to the protocols. Until we meet again, cheers. Bye-bye.